This episode of Walt Disney World Today is sponsored by MEI and Mousefan Travel, who are authorized Disney vacation planners specializing in cruises and packages to Disney and other vacation destinations around the world. They provide their signature services with no agency fees, so get a no-obligation quote by going to www.mousefantravel.com.
This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Wednesday, August 1st, 2007, and this is episode 290 of Walt Disney World Today. I'm Matt Hochberg from MGMstudios.org. On the show today, we have Len Testa, co-author of The Unofficial Guide to Walt Disney World. Welcome, Len.
How's it going, Matt?
Len, it's nice of you to join the show.
It's so good to be here.
All the beaches are closed and all the barbershops are closed. Must be.
All the bars, exactly.
The bars.
The bars.
And also on the show is Mike Scopa of MousePlanet.com and All Ears Net. Welcome, Mike.
With proud new ships, we sail forth in search of new worlds, undaunted by age-old myths and silly superstitions.
Muppets.
Nope.
All the presidents.
No.
Say it again?
Spaceship Earth.
With proud new ships, we sail forth in search of new worlds, undaunted by age-old myths and silly superstitions.
Oh, World of Motion.
That's correct.
Ooh, very good.
Thank
And
you.
Newell's not here, so instead I will play a screw-up that Newell had many years ago, actually, from one of our first episodes. Here he is, Mike Newell. Welcome, Mike.
Thanks, Matt. Oh, my God. How's everybody doing?
It's Wednesday, and we're answering listener questions, and our first email is from Stephanie from Quincy, Massachusetts, who writes, "Hi, guys. Love the show. I'm planning my first visit to Disney, and I've learned a lot through the podcast and, of course, the unofficial guide. Ding!
Ding!
My question is in regards to visiting Animal Kingdom and having dinner at Jico. By using the crowd predictor at touringplans.com, ding!
Ding!
I was able to determine which day would be good to visit Animal Kingdom. We're going to be staying at Wilderness Lodge September 3rd through 10th of this year during the free dining promotion, and they made ADRs for Jico on the day we had planned to visit Animal Kingdom. Being that Wilderness Lodge is rather far away, I believe the unofficial guide said that it could take up to an hour to get there. We wanted to start our visit around 11 or 12 that day, spend the day there, then head to Animal Kingdom Lodge for our 6:30 p.m. reservation at Jico. My concern is if we aren't there when the rope drops, will we be able to visit Everest? I'm concerned they will run out of fast passes, and as this is the only day we have planned to visit Animal Kingdom, I don't want to miss out on it. Do you think I'll be able to get on Everest anyway?
Yeah, so they'll be there by 11?
They said they're going to, 11 or 12. It's September.
11 close.
In September?
Yeah,
In
September
though?
through 10th. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, those are 4s and 5s in the crowd calendar. It'd be fine.
Yeah, so I was going to say.
12 o'clock. Yeah,
I mean,
no.
generally that would be a bad idea, Len, I think. But
Yeah,
given
I mean,
that
like,
it's September,
so this past weekend it would have been horrifically bad when I was
Right.
there, but in September and October, yeah, it should be fine.
Next email is from Art from Vermont, who writes, "Hello, Walt Disney World Today team. First, I wish to offer the seemingly required compliments to each of you. Suffice to say that finding your show was a life-changing experience, and I spend less time exercising and more time on my computer." That's great. Our mission is accomplished.
Great.
I hope that you're able to answer my question before our upcoming trip. I was just wondering, how will the opening of the new attraction about a scary tower at the MGM Disney Studios will affect traffic patterns? Also, will the closing of Horizons at Epcot make it more difficult to see what that new movie that replaced Captain EO?
We got to get to these emails much quicker.
So fun. Sorry, I had to take a little shot at the timeliness of your response. Seriously, I do have a current question regarding finding hotel deals within Disney. Because I'm a teacher, my options for time of travel are limited. Our next Disney trek will be February 25th, 2008 through March 2nd, 2008. My question is, are there deals to be had on room-only reservations at that time? I do check Mount Savers regularly. I've also used the basic AAA discount on the past trips, but is it worth constantly checking between now and next February to try to find a better deal on a Disney hotel? We're looking at either Scopa Towers or Porter Lanes, depending on the cost. I have read the unofficial guide, insert ding here, thoroughly, but it does not seem the likeliness of finding such a deal.
So we actually put in a thing in the 2008 edition ding,
Ding.
about this, and yeah, I mean, except for the periods around Christmas, there are generally AP or other discounts available at least some resorts all the time. So yeah, I think in late February, early March, they'll definitely be something. Mouse Savers is the way to go there. Or alternatively, if you just want to book with a Disney specialist travel agent who will rebook for you if the rates go lower.
Yep.
That's probably the best option.
Hey, Lynn, what's the discount for teachers at the Swan and Dolphin?
Yeah, I thought about that too. But here's the thing. I mean, even if it's $100 a night, which is not going to be for the Swan and Dolphin, you're going to find a lower rate at the Pop or at the
Port Orleans.
Yeah. Now
I thought about that, Mike. First thing I was going to say, but
I think your idea, Len, for suggesting a good travel agent would be a great idea because you can put a deposit down for right now for the first night, and that'll hold your reservation, and they will go ahead and update your reservation when new rates come out, so you don't have to keep on checking back because that's really annoying, and you certainly don't want to be
time-consuming, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so, it makes it easier on yourself by doing that. So it's probably the best idea if I was Art. Next email is from John Lusher, who writes, "Okay, I love the show and I've listened for years. We've used many of your shows as suggestions to better our trips to Disney World. My wife equals all of your passion for everything Disney, and I admit I do too. I will keep listening, but if Len, Mr. Van Halen, mentions the Hansons and Mbop again, I may have to drive the 2.5 hours to North Carolina and hunt him down."
And we'll be right behind you.
I was trying to find the lyrics to that thing because it's on my iPod now when I run, and I can only understand something like at the beginning. They say something about you turn your back for a minute, the paint dries, and then it's gone or something. I don't know. I'm having an ongoing discussion with a few people about what the hell all this means. But anyway, go ahead.
There's a really deep meaning to those Hanson songs, especially Mbop. I mean, it's like
Yeah, go ahead.
Next email is from Joe.
That was it? No question? That was it? It was just a death threat?
No, that was just a death threat.
I was just making sure I didn't miss anything there.
Nope. Next email is from Joe from Danvers, Massachusetts. Who writes, "Hi, guys.
Go ahead.
My wife and I are just back from the world. We noticed that many people ignore the smoking restrictions. It's almost as if they think it's okay to smoke as long as there's no one within a 10-foot radius. I'm not sure if this problem has gotten worse or we've just become more sensitive to it. In my 15 trips to the world, I've only seen a cast member comment to a guest once about smoking in a non-smoking area. That was only because he was walking into Space Mountain. The guest made some sort of comment, kept on smoking, and walked into the building. My question is, what can the cast members do to actually enforce the non-smoking policy? Does the policy have any teeth? How are the cast members trained to handle the situation? Should I start packing a squirt gun while I'm in the theme parks? Love the podcast."
I don't think it rarely goes beyond someone saying,
"Please,
sir, let me find you where the let me walk you towards where the smoking area is." I mean, the worst thing is security comes over and they've got tasers, right? I mean, it's not going to get escalated beyond that. And that's what's going to happen. Cast member will call security. That's step one, and then you comply or you leave. And I don't think it ever gets beyond that.
That's a good point.
Although, I'd love to see someone whip out the nightsticks for cigarettes.
Yeah, Marlboro beatdown.
Beating someone down in Tomorrowland. I said, put that stogie out.
I think we should assign Christina to that line. I mean,
Exactly.
have her be the smoking enforcement. She'll walk around with two really black lungs and be like, "Look, look in the mirror."
Kids, tell your parents you don't want them to die early.
Stay in school.
Next email's from Gary Hasty, who writes,
Gary!
"I recently took a Disney Institute class on human performance. They use the figure of 70% of the revenue in the parks comes from the repeat guests. So the job of each cast member is to do whatever it takes to create a repeat visit." It's an interesting stat line, wouldn't you say?
70% is repeat. That's interesting.
70%. I can use that in my...
Huh.
We'll rip it off. Sounds good. That's the
I wonder how many of them are U.S. versus foreign. Yeah, international.
We'll have to go crash their Disney Institute class.
That's a great number.
Next email's from Angel in Bloomington, Indiana, who writes, "Hi guys, my girlfriend and I are going to Walt Disney World in October 2007. Unless you don't get to this email in time, then just insert current year here. We have tickets to the Halloween festivities on the 21st, and I'm wondering if the crowd levels are similar to Extra Magic Hours or if it's worse. I haven't seen anywhere that tells you how many tickets they sell. Love the podcast, love the unofficial guide. Ding! Thanks for answering."
Ding!
That's going to be a Friday, but it's going to be in September. I don't think anyone's going to be in the mood yet.
October.
Oh, sorry, October.
October 21st.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, let me see here. It's a Sunday. Okay, so the thing that's going to save you here is that it is in fact a Sunday, and anyone who's going, like locals, won't go because obviously school is the next Monday. We are predicting a crowd level of 6, which is going to be average on the calendar. So yeah, I think if you want to see the attractions during the Halloween party, then you definitely want to use one of our touring plans. If you want to concentrate on the events, though, we also have touring plans for that. Scooby, you've done that before, right?
I agree with you, Lynn. I think that we've talked about this before, that when you go to one of these parties, you're paying all this money, the $50 cookie and all that what you want to do is you want to enjoy the attractions that day or the day before, and you want to concentrate on getting what you paid for, and that is
which is the special event stuff, yeah.
Right, special events and all that stuff, candy, things like that. So the attractions are not to be enjoyed during those party hours.
Hey, so the Haunted Mansion will be up by then, right? It'll be reopened?
It should be open by October 4th, I heard.
Yeah, you heard about they're adding a new scene?
In the seance room?
No, there's actually another scene in, I think it's the transition to outdoors, where to the graveyard scene. Yeah, they're adding a transition area here.
Oh, when you come out of the attic?
Yeah, I'll send you the details.
Okay.
Cool. Next email's from Katie of Utica, Michigan, who writes, has anyone ever seen a character with their head off? I don't mean to sound morbid, but I am curious. I heard that it is so confidential that even when they do have the character lunches and stuff, they have a separate changing room, so even the waitstaff cannot see them.
Yeah, if somebody would be taking pictures, No, I've never.
I have.
Have you really?
Yeah, it was on Main Street, USA. I think it was a couple of years ago. I've seen it a few times. There's this guy riding a horse, and he's got this jack-o'-lantern. And you mean
Gotta start missing more shows.
They're so Disney is so concerned about the whole character thing that during a parade, for instance, let's say it's 2:55 p.m. and the 3 o'clock parade is coming up, and you're meeting, let's say, Sleeping Beauty somewhere in the Magic Kingdom. Come 3 o'clock, Sleeping Beauty Aurora has to leave because Aurora will be appearing in the parade, and Disney can't have the same character appear in the same 2 different places in the park at the same time, because of course the ramification could be a kid could go see the Sleeping Beauty in the parade and then walk over and see Sleeping Beauty somewhere else, and of course that would give off that whole, it'd be quite a conundrum and destroy many child's lives. And
right.
Two Auroras, a pair of Auroras beats a single any day, though.
I was going to say it was a variation on Heisenberg's uncertainty principle.
Exactly.
But anyway, go ahead. I like yours too.
Seeing 2 characters like that, that could just stunt your growth and make you, forever subject you to a life of trivia and mundane podcasts that last for 5 hours.
You can never have too many bells.
Nice, both of you guys. So I know we're going to save Tiki Fest for Friday, but I went to Tiki Fest over the weekend. And I get there, right? And finally I'm thinking to myself, amen, a Disney event without Lou Mangello. And so I'm walking by the giveaway stuff, and wouldn't you know it, 2 copies of his books autographed there. And T-shirts. He manages to get something in, even though he's not physically present.
It's that Jersey thing. They're just, you can't trust him.
I don't know what it is. Again, I'm telling you, whatever
he has the ability
he did something bad earlier in his life, and this is his way of making atonement for it.
Not only that, but I heard that when Lindsay Lohan got into problems early this week, there was a copy of his book in her car.
She was reading it.
I'm pretty sure.
Maybe that was the cause for the accident, maybe. I don't know.
I'm going to start using that line. All right, go
ahead. Next email is from Dave from Illinois, better known as Len's Email Van Halen Buddy. Writes, hello, gentlemen. I know that Disney normally releases room-only discounts around late September, but I cannot find any information regarding how much, percentage-wise, these discounts normally are for value rooms. Any ideas?
Oh, I just did this for the guide. Hold on.
40%, 35, 40%? I'm guessing it's a low of 20 and a high of 40%.
No. Are you kidding? I thought it would be closer to 10 to 20% maybe.
Okay. The percentages don't matter. Here's the break even if you've got an annual pass holder discount. It's if you're staying at a deluxe resort, the break even is 3 nights. If you're staying at a moderate, it's 5 nights and then 9 at a value resort. I think if you want actual numbers, do I have actual numbers?
I thought it was like $10 off a general. I mean, I thought it was. I didn't think it was quite as much as 20 to 40%, Mike. I mean, is that what you found, or am I just not paying attention to how much I'm paying?
I don't think you're paying attention.
All right, here it is. The app. Okay, so this is for 2005 through 2007. Mm-hmm. The average discount at a value resort is $26 a night. It's $49 at a moderate. It's $94 at a deluxe. The minimum discount is $20, $40, and $70.
Okay, so that'll give your buddy Dave an idea. Also,
yeah, okay.
Dave also wants to know the copy of the unofficial guide, ding, which I own, does not list whether or not Soarin' is safe for expectant mothers. Len?
It's really mild, but I'll go with whatever Disney's recommendation is. It's really, really mild. I can't imagine that unless you're in your
how could that rise anyone into labor?
And unless you're in your third trimester, I think you'll be fine. But I'm not a doctor, so seek professional advice before listening to anything I have to say.
Yeah.
Because if not, you'll do it afterwards anyway.
Yeah.
Get it? Anyway, go ahead.
Next email's from Melanie, who writes, "Hey guys, I'm a 16-year-old girl obsessed with Disney World, of which I one day plan to own. However, as of right now, I do not own Disney. I am therefore not concerned with their financial issues. Thus, my question regards the fingerprinting ticket system. I have deduced that the system does not remember you past a day, as I have my mother's ticket on a day she didn't go, and the system didn't signal me out. So my question is, what exactly does the thing do? Does it match people to their ticket on a daily basis? Is it more of a gimmick than anything else?"
Okay, so here's what we heard, because we tried this exact same thing. So if you've got, let's say, mom, dad, and 2 kids, Disney will accept any fingerprint on any ticket from any member in that family. So mom can use dad's ticket, the kids can use the adult's ticket, whatever. And the reason for that is that they're trying to speed you through the line by not being so particular about who's handing out whose passes to whom. If you try to use someone else's ticket, especially someone who didn't buy with that family at the same time, you might get flagged. But even then, we've swapped non-family member tickets before, male to female.
I've used your ticket before, Lon.
Yeah, and there weren't any problems with it. I mean, we've done it both intentionally and non-intentionally just to test it, and we've only been stopped a handful of times. I think there's a setting like how much play they're willing to.
It's like they have the cast member looks at the screen and it's like it says like, okay, this could be it says like what it could be, the person who's doing it.
62-year-old grandmother, yeah.
It's like orangutan, and then they have to check.
All right. So I think it's they probably don't check very closely, especially like during crowded times.
Yeah.
No. I know that they've disabled it at the Animal Kingdom quite a few times.
Yes. I've heard reports of that where they just basically turn it off and it's just, it goes back to the old system where it just goes through and makes sure you have a date on there. Yeah. Melanie also writes, "I doubt you've heard this before, but I was told that if you were the first ride Maelstrom at Norway, you get a Viking of the Day hat. I would like to say these rumors are false. A few months ago, my friend and I sat down in front of the ride's door for 45 minutes as to assure we got said Viking hat. We were indeed the first on the ride, which required some jostling with a few 3-year-old girls, yet our idiocy was rewarded with nothing and definitely not a blessed Viking hat. Just a heads up."
Okay, well, I have a first of the day story again on Friday's show, so tune in then.
There you go. Next email is from Kathy, who writes, "Hi guys, this is Kathy Adams from Ellington, Connecticut. I've been listening to your show for a couple of months now, and I'm hooked. Walt Disney World today is addictive. The big question, does Animal Kingdom get less crowded after the parade, or does it stay busy until closing?"
Oh, less crowded after the parade. Who wants to stay that long? All right, so funny.
A funny story. All right, Len, why don't you share your voicemail with me?
So I get to the Animal Kingdom about 10:30 Friday with Hannah, my daughter, 9 years old, and we get fast passes for Everest at 10:45. And I notice on the fast pass the return time is 2:05 to 3:05 p.m. Now, mind you, it's 10:30 in the morning. So immediately I call up Potchberg and I say, "I'm going to be here for the next 3.5 hours. What is there to do with this park for 3.5 hours?"
It made my day when I got that
Called the wrong guy.
We went on Kali River Rapids. We went to Conservation Station. We got autographs in Camp Mini Mickey. We ate a long lunch at Pizza Safari, and then it's like 1 o'clock. You know what? And it's like, let's go. We didn't even ride.
Kathy also has another question for you, Animal Kingdom question. How long of a wait will there be for the Animal Kingdom Nemo show? Do you really have to be there 45 minutes before the show, as I've heard? I've got a 2-year-old that won't sit still that long. Can you show up right before the show and still get seats?
Okay, so 45 minutes before the show is just crazy. I've heard that I've not heard of anyone being turned away. I've heard some people get in at the last minute. I've not heard of anyone being turned away for any show. Now, obviously, if you're going during Christmas or Easter or spring break or something like that, you do want to get there about 15 or 20 minutes in advance, but I wouldn't invest more time in it than that. In fact, I would probably just show up 5 minutes beforehand.
I would agree. I wouldn't go 5 minutes. I would do probably 10 to 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think, unless you're absolutely dead set on having the perfect seat, which I don't think is necessary.
No.
You got a decent view almost anywhere in there. But I would definitely sit in the rear section. It's kind of divided in two. And again, the rear section is best because you do get to some things occur in the middle of the front section, and if you're in that front section, it's hard to see everything on the stage and what's going on in your section. So that's why I say that. Next email is from Shane from Snellville, Georgia, who writes, "Hey guys, love your podcast. I just got a new iPod and downloaded the majority of your episodes because I love the show and Disney so much."
That'll void the warranty right there.
Anyway, on to my question. When I was a sophomore, my high school chorus got the opportunity to sing in the Christmas candlelight procession at Epcot. It was so much fun, even though we processed over a mile that night after walking all day in the parks. While at Disney World, I wanted to do something special for my graduating senior friend, so I volunteered myself and 3 others for the pre-show activity of the backlot tour in the Disney MGM studios.
Awesome.
It was such a memorable and fun thing, and I recommend it to anyone who has not done it before. My senior year is approaching, and my teacher has again decided to partake in the candlelight procession. I was wondering if you guys had any ideas for other inexpensive or free activities that leave lasting memories. Thanks again for doing a podcast like this. I love Walt Disney World, and you guys talk about it so humorously. Keep up the good work.
Okay, so this is my new thing. So get to the parks as early as possible. So if the Magic Kingdom opens at 9 a.m., be there at like 6:45, and see if you can get picked to be the group that opens the park for the day, and that works for any park, by the way.
Well, I'd have to rent a kid for that, probably.
Yeah, if you they're high schoolers, so they bring.
And here today is little Johnny and his great-grandfather.
Shut up, kid! You're up in the park with me. That's one thing that might work. What else would be fun that's inexpensive?
Volunteering is always a good idea. I mean, Shane did the backlot tour. We mentioned in the previous episode about things to volunteer at, and there's different, it's always fun. It's always interesting to do.
We should do a show on that.
And we can also, some other things. I mean, I think, going to places like, you got to eat, so you might as well go to a place like perhaps 50's Primetime Cafe or Whispering Canyon. They have that kind of element of entertainment that can really make those kind of memories.
Right. Oh, good idea.
There's something like that. I mean, that's a good option right there. Anything else that comes to your mind, Scopa?
Nope.
Do they still do the free Segway demos at Epcot? Those are always fun.
I don't know. Are they free?
Yeah, there's a free one in the afternoon.
Definitely.
There was. Yeah,
I'll only go if Fred blocks on.
Exactly. And then also there's things like the Behind the Seats tour where
that's cheap.
Yeah, that's like $10 or $12 a pop, and they tell you not to eat the food on the tour. Don't believe a word that they're saying. Eat whatever you can get your hands on.
Len, put his hand in the tilapia tank and pulled one out of him. That's good eating.
Them's good eating.
Them's good eating.
Them's good eating.
Next email is from Richard Egan of Williamstown, Massachusetts. Scopa, all your buddies from Massachusetts are emailing us today.
My peeps.
Hi guys, love the show. 2 questions for you. I have a set of 10-day Magic Your Way tickets left over from my last trip. They are park hopper, water park fun and more, no expiration, give us all your money kind. In addition to having a few park admissions left on them, I believe they have 4 remaining water park admissions. When I use one of those admissions, they don't also count as one of the 10 park days, right?
No, they don't.
Right, they're two different things.
Yeah. And actually, I verified this with my daughter's pass. She had the exact same pass over the weekend.
Richard also wants to know, and once I use up the 10 days at the theme parks, are the water park admissions still good, or should I stop using the theme park admissions after 9s until I've depleted the number of water park admissions?
No, they don't have to be used in any order.
Yeah, I mean, you can use all 10 days and then leave all your water park and more options on that ticket. It's still good. I think
that's exactly what I did with my daughter's pass. I know that exact scenario works.
that would be a good idea, if you're doing the water park fun and more option. Because a lot of times we've said it's hard to squeeze in the water parks and the days that you're going to be in the parks in one trip, but it might be beneficial to kind of save it for a future trip, invest a little bit, in a cheaper water park option and use it later on.
I gotta say, I've visited the water parks twice now in 2 months. I really like the water parks way more than I used to. We'll have to do a separate show on them, but they are a lot of fun.
Sounds good. Richard also wants to know, Matt, what are you going to call your site if the studios drops MGM or adds Pixar to its title?
PixarStudios.org.
I'll call it touringplans.com.
Exactly.
Oh, wait. That's taken. Keep up the good work. Next time you're at Pleasure Island, buy yourself some Mangello shots.
The Mangello shots.
Next email is from... Doesn't say. Next time you got to put your name in there, people.
Anonymous.
Hello, gentlemen. My family is planning a trip for the 14th to the 20th of December this year, and I had 2 questions. Will that be a good time for crowds?
14th through the what?
14th through the 20th.
Might be good.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing it, Christmas shopping. No one's thinking about going down there.
Some of the lowest crowds of the year. Yeah.
Yep. The week before Christmas. Yeah.
We have 2 3s in that predicted in that week. Yeah, should be the slowest week of the year.
This anonymous emailer also wants to know, more importantly, in Walt Disney World internet communities, there's been a common theme for some time. Call your resort 3 to 5 days before your arrival to confirm your room, resorts, buildings, floors, etc. However, the last 2 times I've done this, as I approach my arrival, my phone call to the specific resort has been met with the same reply. The requests are already noted in your reservation, sir. There's nothing more we can do right now. When your room is assigned, the cast member will do his or her best to accommodate your wishes. So, if the requests are placed on the reservation electronically at the time it is made, is there really a need to call in the days before your arrival, or have I always reached unhelpful cast members?
It can't hurt to call.
Yeah.
It's just that there's no other way to say it.
Yeah. You hit the right person at the right time. They may say,
exactly.
Well, gee, if this person really cared enough to call, I'm going to do whatever I can.
Yeah, you could exactly. If you call 5 days out, that's the day when they start doing those reservations. You might happen to catch the cast member who's actually working on that specific task at that specific time.
It never hurts.
It doesn't hurt. Go ahead and do it.
This email also wants to know, you mentioned in earlier podcasts, but what do you all do for day jobs? I know Len has mentioned working for a company. Sounds very Men in Blackish.
A company. I work for the company. Exactly. My day job is with American Express, the credit card company.
And Scopa worked on the USS Constitution back in the War of 1812. But
the East India Trading Company.
I actually held the flag while Betsy Ross sewed. Yep.
Exactly. B. Franklin and Sons.
Yeah. Quick question, last one from Brian Logan of Elmhurst, Illinois. Who, as my family will be traveling to Disney World this coming November, is the Disney Welcoming Center still open in Ocala, Florida? If so, what hotels are located by the Disney Welcoming Center? It is closed.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It closed like a couple of years ago already, right? What is it, like 4 or 5 years ago?
I don't know. I haven't heard of it. In Ocala? Wow.
You never heard of it?
I thought it was in Ocala?
Maybe it means no.
I thought it was the Florida Welcome Center. I don't think it was the Disney Welcome Center.
Yeah, it wouldn't be in Ocala.
You guys don't remember the Ocala Welcome Center?
No.
They used to have. It's in the guide, Len. Look it up. The old guides.
Ding.
They used to have this. They used to have in Ocala. It was mostly people who were driving down on like I-75, and people who were driving down could stop in Ocala and get last-minute reservations at a Disney resort. It's kind of like, try to keep them from staying off-site. And
this is before the invention of cell phones?
And the internet and touringplans.com.
Okay.
Ding.
And they closed it. I think they closed it around 2001, 2002.
Sadly, I never visited it.
Man, I've never been there. My fiance used to go there all the time, and it was just a lot of people just thought they're just for the it's like a Disney fix, like you've been driving all that time and you get to finally, stop somewhere and
talk to your cast member.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Well, that's it for us today. This episode of Walt Disney World Today has again been sponsored by MEI and Mousefan Travel, who are authorized Disney vacation planners specializing in cruises and packages to Disney and other vacation destinations around the world. They provide their signature services with no agency fees. So get a no-obligation quote by going to www.mousefantravel.com and ask for Colleen. And that's it. Well, Annette, we gotta give Annette a break. And that's it for us today. If you want to find our older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, visit the Walt Disney World Today website at www.wdwtoday.com. You can also email us at questions@wdwtoday.com. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, and Mike Newell, I'm Matt Hochberg. We'll see you on the next show.